To stream. Hi. How you guys doing? Sorry for the long start there. I had to sort some things out. How you doing, Linda Brooks? Good to have you. Scotty Boy, Hall and Oates. Good to have you here, Scotty Boy. Hall and Oates, the original heads of the early 80s. Love Hall and Oates. Just how long has this been going on? Ah, that's cool. Yeah, there's another song. How long has this been going on? Or is this still going on? Is actually the new one. I like that. It's about the pandemic and stuff. Hi, Travis. How you doing? Good to have you. So we're here to discuss and kind of redo a video of the microwave weapon, the Fasces, in history. So I wanted to show you guys some images. Some of the newer people have been asking, because I've mentioned it before, that the Fasces was a microwave weapon, at least in my opinion. There's all the components are there to make one, and I can't see why they would make something so technological. I'm doing great, thanks, Belinda. Without any knowledge of how to use it or what it's for, and it's used as a symbol of power, and it has been throughout history. So, let's take a look here. I'll share a screen with you guys. Show you some images I just pulled up pretty quickly off the internet. Let's see, not that one. There we go. So these are some images of the Fasces on coins. There's some on carvings. Here we go. Here's one. There's one on coins. So we have various different depictions of what they look like, what they might be. It's an interesting one. This one's also interesting, right? So you can see they had, it looks like they had different styles or some sort throughout history. There's a Lincoln Memorial with two fasces, again, a symbol of power. Roman lictor fasces, okay. So there's a depiction from an early time. Here we have a statue with what appears to be a fasces. Watch out, boy, he'll chew you out. Yeah. So we can see that these symbols of power, as they're called, follow throughout history, at least for a couple thousand years. A couple other good little depictions of it. Let's see, here's a modern one. People walking around with fasces, obviously unoperational. There's some other, just various ways of showing this symbol of power, right? So what I'm going to show you next, I have one of them in particular, sectioned out. Let's see which one. There we are. So this one was interesting to me, mostly because we don't see what looks like a traditional axe head. We see something much different. See something with a curve in it. It has a curve in it, a square, flat end, not axe-shaped at all. Also have stylized lion or cougar heads, I'm not sure, on it. But we can see how they have incorporated some of components that don't look weapon-like, None of this really looks weapon-like anything to bludgeon or attack someone with. It's quite cumbersome when you look at the depictions I showed before. So how do you use this thing? And what is it? Any questions so far? Hey, Dark Truth, how you doing? Oh, is Circle K here? I didn't see him. Travis, how you doing? No, don't see Circle K. A lot of the people in my chat have seen this and understand quite how it works. But again, this is for newer people. So we're looking at the fasces. We're looking at an older depiction of one, which doesn't really have any weapon-like features. And I believe, as I've stated in the title, microwave weapon. So let's take a look at something. Let's take a look at a microwave. Let's see, where are we here? There we are. So this is the internal workings of a microwave. It's called a magnetron. As we can see, and as you saw in the previous pictures I showed you, there was a post in the middle. And look at this one. This one is the same as one of the previous pictures. It has a center post and then a post around it. Isn't that interesting? We can also see that the post goes straight through. This is a pull-apart picture. So here's a simplified picture of the inner workings where we have a cathode here and here. And that would be where you'd apply the power. You have RF fields created by the cathode and the power going through it. We have chambers. These chambers collect the electrons. And here's the electron path they show going around. Now, these chambers could be replaced with long poles. This small shaft in the middle could be replaced with a longer one. These cooling fans, you could do without them. But there's all the components right there for us to make something share screen. I'll go back and forth to those two, to these two, but here is one of your founding fathers. Here's George Washington with a Fasces. Now, I've looked into this many, many times. I've looked at it and looked at it quite a lot. You can see the rods required to make the chambers. We can see a strap around it. And on the top and bottom, there may be a magnet. I think there is one on the top, a round disc magnet. That's required to get the electrons to start to flow. Here beside it, we have what looks like a scroll. Oh, excuse me. And this scroll is a great stand-in for what is called a capacitor. So what a capacitor does is it holds a large charge and releases it all at once. And you can see where that would go to. So you attach the capacitor to this device, and what you end up with is a microwave weapon. I'd like to address and go back to the other picture and show a few things. All the details here. Definitely didn't know how flamboyant George was. Well, he could have kicked your ass with that, eh? So over the top of it, people have said that's his, I've said in the past that that's his coat. But I don't think it is his coat. What I think it is it's a cover for the Fasces so that they can create a slight vacuum, a place of null space where the electrons can flow a little easier. The less air and atmosphere you have, the more flow. So that would be a necessity to cover it over. Now let me go back again to a previous window here. Let's go back to the historical Fasces. And we can see that they do have an axe head, but as we saw in the later pictures of the Fasces, this type of a depiction, that doesn't really look like an axe head. And in fact, it probably isn't. What it is probably is a bell. What you need to get the electrons to flow out of the magnetron is a post coming out of the side. And you need to direct that, because what happens is out of the post, say like this is the post sticking out of the side, the electrons will start to flow in a figure 8 pattern. So what you need to do is to put a bell, a metallic bell or a circle or something, to make the electrons hit the side and go other ways, go out. And you can direct how wide or narrow that is by the bell. So let's go back. There. Looks like he just might, yeah. Okay. Let's go back to the magnetron. Okay, they don't show you in this, but there is a post that will go through one of these, and it will collect the electrons and come out the side. So what can this do? Magnetron is a high-powered vacuum tube used to increase the frequency of signal. It's a multi-cavity device available from 8 to 20 cavities. Frequency ranges from 0.6 gigahertz to 30 gigahertz, which would be plenty enough to make people ill, possibly to kill them. And here we have one of your founding fathers proudly displaying the Fasces. And it may have been something that was ubiquitous throughout history, right? We have this gentleman here showing us a modern interpretation of what the Fasces looks like, not showing us the bell either, or the axe head, but covering it over, covering over the weapon part of it, right? And we asked why he was wearing a coat and then had another coat, but it's probably not a coat. What that is a sleeve to go over, and you can take some of the air out and create kind of a partial vacuum tube, and that will increase the flow of electrons. And again, beside him there is a scroll tube acting as a capacitor to send out the charge. A scroll tube or a capacitor is just a big roll of metal. It's just a very thin layer rolled up very tightly with a sheet between it and an electrolyte. And it can hold vast, vast amounts of electricity and be just charged in an instant. And that would heat up this device, but we don't need cooling fans on this because you're probably only going to use it once or twice. Aim it at a population and bang it off. They wouldn't hear or see a thing, but over time they'd feel it from the radiation sickness setting in. And I wanted to discuss some of the events throughout history that may have been caused by this. Or even, see, we have plagues and stuff throughout history, but we also have these devices at the same time. A capacitor. I'll show you a capacitor. Give me a second. I should have brought that one up too. Okay, images. Let's go back. Capacitor. Let's see. Not. Let's go back. Get something here. Okay, well, here's the basics of it. Yeah, let me just share that. So capacitor here you can see, pull up this one is good. So you have a positive plate and a negative plate, okay? And you charge them both up, basically. And these plates, you can roll them up like they have in this type of a capacitor here. You can see that they show the swirls of the metal roll. There's a dielectric and a jelly and an aluminum casting around it. And they hook up to one end and then the other end and charge it up. You get a positive and negative, and it will discharge all at once, as much energy as you put in there. So one big bang on the Fasces. Hi, Queen Peachy Keen. Oh, you're welcome. So it's called, that's close, Scotty boy. It's just capacitor, CA. So, and an OR. I'll type it in chat. So if you have like a Home Depot or a Rona or a hardware store somewhere around, you too could get 8 to 12 or 4 to 12 copper tubes. Take a strip off of the inside of each one. Put them in a round shape so that they're all pointed inward with the hole. Get a rod, an iron rod, and a couple of speaker magnets. Hi, Mr. Schooler. To put on the top and bottom. And that will cause the swirling of the electrons in that chamber that you've created out of copper pipes. And then if you put an iron post in the side of it with a bell, with an insulation around it and a bell, you can take those electrons that are swirling around inside and channel them outside, where they'll do their little figure 8 motion back and forth and bounce off the side of the bell, spraying out at whoever or whatever you've aimed that device at. We talking about grounding and health benefits? No. We're talking about the fasces. This is going to be a short show so that it's digestible for people. But I'll probably come back on. Give me a second. Yes, I know. It's snow. Thank you. Yes. Please don't interrupt the show for that. Stop sharing. Share screen. So this is what we're discussing, the Roman fasces. So I think it's been used throughout history. I think it may have been used on the Native American Indians. They had what they called plague blankets, but were they plague blankets? I don't know. They could have been. But seeing we have George Washington here and various other diplomats and people of prominent power displaying various forms of this microwave weapon or radar weapon, I think it may have been used right throughout our history. The bubonic plagues, all of them, could have been caused by this weapon here that this man proudly displays. I had a very large capacitor from a film project when I was a kid. I took it to school to show my science teacher. And he carried it away like it was a nuclear bomb. Well, if they touch both poles, they could get zapped really good. Yep, directed energy. That's right, Peachy King. And you did a few videos on antique tech, in particular the radiant and towers and radiant energy, and quartz mirror crystal balls and divination. Cool. Yeah, this is more of a weapon of war than a helpful healing thing. But they see these days what they've done is they've taken this technology, this 2,000-year-old plus probably old technology, and they have made it much, much smaller. In fact, they can put one of these probably into a small square couple of inches. Because of the power systems that we have now, they can constantly feed it energy. They'll have to have huge cooling systems on it to do that. But this thing was just a one-hit wonder. It would devastate a population, and then you could just move right in. While they're fighting off a plague, you just walk in with your duck suit and pretend like there's a plague going around. You tell them it's the rats, so they all run around looking at the rats. And that statue doesn't shout, "I'm here to heal you." You're right, Squirrel Sniper. Yeah, how thoughtful of them, right, Scotty boy? Sharing their technology. And we wonder how the Roman Empire became so big. If you walk onto a battlefield, they used to line up for a battle and they would stand in front of each other. If you were to take a few of these just before a battle and pop them off at your enemy, very shortly they would start to feel ill. They wouldn't feel well. Maybe even a lot of the fight might go out of them. So you wonder how the Romans did so amazing in war. Well, if your population is decimated by a flu, they're just going to come in and wipe you out. Yep, miniaturized it, right? So it's not complicated technology. And if you could go to Home Depot and get all the components, I'm sure if you were a despot in the past, you could hire a few machinists and metallurgists to make you the components. Still using that today, whatever the spotlight shines, don't look at it. Possible direction to see what to expect. Yeah. So yeah, this type of weaponry used throughout history could be the reason we're in the mess we're in right now. And there's a Tesla patent for harnessing radiant. Yep. Pretty sure that type of energy heals. Probably. What it would do is it would pull the free electrons out of the atmosphere around you, leaving it negatively charged. So there would be mostly negative ions left in the air, or negatively charged particles, which are good for you. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video about a half an hour so that we could see the technology, how easy it is to put together. It's not really hard. And even the vacuum tube, they have what people call a cloak laid over top of it, but it looks just big enough to fit over the fasces and probably act as a compression or a vacuum chamber. Probably made of very, very sturdy leather. And I've been looking at it up close to make sure that I'm right on that. And I believe I am, because you can see it is not, if you look at this picture yourself online, you can find it very easily. Just type in bronze statue of George Washington, and you can clearly see this doesn't appear to be a coat slung over this. It appears to be like a sleeve. Now, I can't be 100% sure on that unless I go and see it myself, but that's what I think. Yeah, they claimed back in the 70s, Scotty boy, that when the wireless network came, we were all going to be happy because they were going to put out a frequency that would make us happy. So they told us they could do it, but they just haven't done it. They've done the exact opposite. That's the Baphomet shirtless George. Yeah. I'm feeling quartz has a big part to do with this. It could, squirrel. I don't know. Don't forget quartz in modern tech. Yeah. Piezoelectric, if quartz energy is interesting too. Yeah. Hi, Paula. Oh, you just came in at the end. I'm just going to give it one more minute, and that's about all I got for that. And I might start up another stream in a little bit just to hang out and talk about crap. Any questions on the Fasces microwave technology? How it was used? Anything? If not, we'll cut this stream and see you in a bit, maybe. Yeah, we do use quartz in radios. That's right. Okay, guys. I'm going to cut this off. So much love to you all. And take a look into this. The microwave weapon, the capacitor, all of the components are there for a microwave weapon. And that's a big ass one. So your founding fathers may have used microwave weapons to conquer this land. The Romans may have used it to conquer their lands. And now we have big tech using it to conquer our lands. All right, until next time, much love. Keep your third eye open. Use your intelligence and your intuition. Bye-bye.